Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account, and please have as much fun as we're having right now with DraftKings. It's been a good night. The night has been great. If you didn't come out to the DNVR bar, you missed a blast of a time.
Blast of a time.
Blast of a time.
He really said it that way. A time.
Gentlemen, it's a preseason game. Let me preface this by saying it is a preseason game. You cannot really do that much damage.
There's a reason we're all giggle pants over here. Like it was just a weird ass hockey game, dude.
But was this game a disaster for the Colorado Avalanche?
No, man. I mean, maybe. I guess the prognosis of Pavel Francouz, we'll see. Because if Jonas Johansson has to back him up, they're in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, it was a hot mess tonight, right?
Yeah.
Watching that game was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, just watching him watch pucks just go
through his body.
Yeah, like teleport through him. Where it was like Logan Thompson on the other hand is like fighting for I don't know what job. But then Jonas Johansson's like, all right, that's cool. Pucks can go through me, I guess.
I'm still on the NHL roster, boys.
Yeah,
unlike the rest of the Avs goalies.
Yeah, right. They got rid of all these dudes.
So, look, clearly, let's not beat around the bush. The story of the night is Pavel Francouz's injury, which is unclear at the moment.
Well, and it's like the one thing we talk about going into the preseason more than anything else. What do you need to do? You need to come out the other side of it healthy. They went into it, Cale Makar seems to be fine.
Yeah.
They're
being cautious.
And sure. I'd be surprised if there was an issue opening night. But, Devon Taves is working his way back. And the big thing here is they needed Pavel Francouz to just stay healthy. They got 0 games out of him last year. And in a 56-game schedule, you can kind of piece it together.
Sure.
Especially in a bad division.
It's not enough games that...
all the backup games were against Anaheim and L.A. And it was okay, like groovy, just take those nights off and we'll hopefully come out of it. This would be a much bigger problem, though.
Yeah. It would be seriously concerning for the Avs if it's significant time. Francouz, obviously, a tough situation, right? This is a guy who hasn't played hockey in forever. He played 25, 30 minutes a couple games ago. Couldn't even make it through the second period on this one
No, I mean, he made it. He was right at the halfway point of the game.
Where they likely would have pulled him anyway.
And it was like right then he had the problem. Now, the reason for positive is that he skated off under his own power.
It's not like he was on a stretcher or anything crazy.
It wasn't like he was... It didn't look like he needed significant help. So, you're looking for a positive. I guess that's it. Until we actually know what it really is.
I mean, Blaze, you're not a goalie, but I know you've had your fair share of injuries out on the ice. What's your take on a look for Francouz where I think all of us on the initial play weren't even sure that he was hurt.
Yeah, I thought he had a skate problem because it looked like his skate was stuck in the net.
It looked like something happened with his equipment for sure. But then, knowing his past and what surgeries he's had now, right? Like, you're a little bit concerned there because he's down on his knees and all of a sudden he freezes up.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary. And it looks like you said, he skated off on his own power. It looked fine. Hopefully it was just something tweaked or he felt something weird in his muscles and that was it.
Dario can't not hear an echo. Dude, if your Twitter is up and it auto-played on your Twitter, there's your problem.
That's on you, bud.
I gave him a few solutions. That sucks, though.
And we have a super chat here. Let's get to that real quick.
Yes. He said sorry for the false alarm. I had the Twitter feed and YouTube going at
called out.
Wow. Yes, he's made that mistake before. This guy.
Out.
AJIT.
It's just all initials over here.
Thank you for the $5, Luke. It's very appreciated. Would you rather have JJ or Renouf? A lot of JJ hate, and we so upset with him being the number 7. Okay, you mean Jack Johnson, not Jonas Johansson. Okay, understood. Getting 10 to 15 minutes a night if he plays. Jack Johnson. On the night, look, he had that one brutal pass in the offensive zone, D to D, that was just asking for trouble.
And trouble he got.
Yeah.
That didn't get to the other D.
You know, there was a weird play that led to a goal. Was it Carlson's goal, where it was kind of a weird situation where Carlson floated across the middle, and it was almost like JJ expected, like a switch coming across the middle that just didn't happen, and all of a sudden Carlson was alone at the top of the circles, and it was like, oh no. But as far as Jack Johnson, I thought he was fine tonight. Like, yes, the dude is not going to move pucks very well, but you knew that already going in. You knew what to expect there.
No, I think he's awful, and I think that tonight was a big step back. And I don't necessarily think it was a step forward for any of his direct competition. So maybe the step back doesn't hurt him. But I certainly don't. I tweeted out during camp. This feels very Brad Stewarty to me. He looks good in camp. As soon as we get into games, it's going to start to get worse, and that's exactly what's happened. As the NHL competition has ramped up in the games that Jack Johnson has played, he's looked worse and worse and worse and worse. And I just don't. With like guys already under contract, I really like. I thought Justin Barron was awful tonight.
Yeah,
and I just don't understand why there would be a rush to give a contract to a guy that is getting worse already. So in preseason, the guy is getting worse every time he plays.
Can we expand this conversation a little bit? Because I feel like the defense the Colorado Avalanche iced tonight didn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, it looked like it's kind of like the forward core where, you know, the guys that are battling for the fourth line and call up hierarchy.
The forward core makes sense.
Are all going against each other and they're all playing in the same
that
game
was
and
fine.
whatever.
I was fine with the forward core.
But
the defense was a bunch of dudes who can't move pucks.
Well, the defense felt the same way. It was like Ryan Murray. Kind of babysitting, and Jack Johnson kind of babysitting a bunch of dudes.
We'll talk about Ryan Murray later because I know you and I disagree a little bit on his game.
But I like you look at like Dennis Gilbert, and I'm like, was Dennis Gilbert better or worse than Jack Johnson? Neither. He was the same. They're the same guy.
But like,
it's not going to be a quality puck mover. He's a decent defender. He's got a physical element to him. He at least gave enough of a shit to try and drag Will Carrier out and beat some numbers out of him.
After he ran
Francouz, in which I think it was Maltsev might have pushed him in a little bit. I wasn't totally sure how I felt about that. It wasn't
clear,
It didn't look like substantial contact, and it looked like Frankie kind of skated into it a little bit. But it was also like, that's your goalie, and you just beat people for that. And that's why Curtis McDermott is supposed to be there. Yeah. And Curtis McDermott has yet to do anything of any note whatsoever that is remotely positive at all. But at least Dennis Gilbert's chucking nucks when he should be.
I want to get to McDermott in a minute. I want to talk about specifically Dennis Gilbert and Jack Johnson with you, Blaze, because I think the game was summed up by a play in the Avs defensive zone in the first period where Dennis Gilbert and Jack Johnson decided that neither of them wanted the puck. And but neither of them wanted to make a real pass.
No,
either.
Are you talking about the puck that they put right up the middle of the ice, right to...
But before that, they were also just hucking grenades to each other behind the net.
Yeah, that was why I asked you, what were those things called? Because I tweeted out, those two guys passing the puck back and forth looked like teenagers throwing snappets at each other's ankles.
Yeah, I mean, both of them together back there does not make sense for this Avalanche team, right? Even like the bottom pairing for the defensive core, like they can't do anything back there.
I made it bigger so
now
you guys
I feel like our comments are now shouting it off.
No, this is good. For the first time at the bar ever, I can read the comments properly.
I made them bigger so that you guys could see them.
This is good. I appreciate this.
AJ looks scared.
But to your point, Blaze, right? Like, if you're talking about an actual regular season game situation, you're putting a Jack Johnson with a puck mover, right?
You have to. Because, like, what you saw tonight, that's brutal.
Right. You can't put him with Dennis Gilbert.
Yeah.
And that's where I think this battle gets interesting on the defensive side, is because you can't put a lot of these guys together. We talked about it a couple games ago with Jacob McDonald and Curtis McDermott, and it was like, if you have to play multiple of these depth options for the Avs defense, you cannot put them together unless you're asking for trouble.
Absolutely. You have to have someone on the backside of the Avs that can move the puck in the right direction, the right way. And right now, when those two together tonight, it was bad. Like, there was just no decision making, and then the decisions that were made were brutal.
I'm just having my own. I'm in my own world right now. I'm sorry.
Rubbing the chair, snapping the neck,
reading the glasses, and then being like, "Oh, my neck is kind of stiff. Let's crack this thing." Like, ugh. I'm a little sorry. I'm a little.
Yeah, you and the Avs top line were in their own world tonight, I guess. But
Miko had a
Miko
quote here.
was cool.
Tiffany said, Miko said, it's still preseason, so there shouldn't be any overreaction for how the game goes, but everyone's waiting for opening night.
Yeah, this is a reason right here why I always say 6 games is too many. It should be more like 2 or 3.
I'd say 4 is good.
I only say 4 because for money purposes,
not even
travel
money.
to
No,
and travel from.
I'm
and
saying
you get 2 opponents.
You take 2 games to play the guys that are legitimately like question marks in the preseason, right? And then you take 2 games that are warm-ups for the season.
With your basic lineup.
Yeah, with close to your starting lineup. Because every team does that with games 5 and 6. Is they play 80% plus of their starting lineup.
Yep. Well, and I just don't think this matters.
I agree with that.
You know, like 2 or 3 games these guys get, okay, so what? Like the reality is that they're going to all go from taking it not seriously and going 80% to going full bore on opening night. And it's just going to ramp up.
Yep.
And you know, by the second week of the season, you're going to be looking at opening night and being like, "Oh my God, was that bad hockey?" And then by December, it's going to be a normal season again. You know?
Do you think McKinnon was even going to 80?
I saw him take like 2 serious strides tonight, and it was like, and then after that, it was just like a lot of like.
Yeah, I'd give that dude 70 at best. Yeah. Like that, McKinnon was clearly, and you saw it a lot of the time where it's like he was starting to feel a little bit, and then there would be a puck battle, and he would kind of be like, "All right, I'm not gonna take a hit here." Like,
no. I mean, like if he was a shark, he had his dorsal fins down. He was just kind of cruising around, looking at what was going on, but didn't really was in attack mode at all.
What?
For sure.
Yeah.
Can we get our next shirt with McKinnon as a shark?
Wanted it a little bit of a Mac attack there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like, the NHL is going to need a bigger boat. And it's just like eating the league. Nom, nom, nom. It's like the NHL logo in the shape of a boat.
Could I be filled in on this? Can someone please say Blaze Hunter repeatedly, please?
I don't know what that
is. And then we've got people in the comments.
Yeah, that's not how you spell Blaze, by the way.
Yeah.
We've got
that's
people
like
in the
420
comments,
Blaze it,
so
not
I'm
Blaze
not
Hunter.
sure.
Yeah, that's like the fire.
Yeah.
No difference.
There's no difference.
Ooh,
Hi,
Steph, you got to DM me. We got to talk, girl.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's the fire right there.
True.
AJ spitting it.
True.
I have no idea how far we are into the show. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
to you.
11 minutes.
14 minutes
Damn
in.
My sense of time has been struggling over the past couple months. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Word.
It's hard for me to tell time, but if you want to make it harder on yourself to tell time, drink some Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR.
Everybody was on edge. They were like, "Where's this going? Where's this headed?
Where's this going?"
This is my favorite part of my job. Is like after months of doing it, every time I say anything, people are like, "Wait a minute, how does this become a Manscaped read?"
I think
somewhere Pavlov just laughs.
Yeah.
I think the worst one was I think we all can remember the worst one that now everyone is on their is ready for it when you just started talking about regular CDs then jumped into
Oh, that was my favorite because he was
the
like,
best
"Blaze,
one.
I got
do you?"
This was like a 5-minute
CDs?
bit.
And we had a conversation about CDs, and then he was like, "If you would like the CDs nuts," and it was just like
it was like 5 minutes.
Stroke.
I was not ready for
it was
that.
tremendous. and now we're wasting our Breck Brew read talking about the Manscaped read that we're not doing.
So come down to the DNVR bar, get 8 different Breck brews on tap, or get it at your local liquor store. The good
How
company.
many of those did we drink over the weekend when you and I were here? I think we had
quite a
4 or
few.
5 of them between the two of us.
Yeah.
Dude, that vanilla porter is.
You were for a non-beer liker,
dude.
You were jamming with
that. Dude, that
thing.
22 ounces went down quick.
So check it out here. Check it out at your local liquor store. Good Company Hard Seltzer is amazing. It tastes like candy. It's dumb that alcohol is allowed to taste like that, but it tastes so good. Check them out there. Obviously, they're amazing. We love them here. You can also get Strava Craft coffee down at the DNVR bar cold brew, or you can get it online at StravaCraftCoffee.com. 25% off your first order. If you haven't ordered, it's a great deal. It helps with migraines, joint pain, IBS, a bunch of other aches and pains as well. I really like it because as a regular Advil user, someone who gets migraines, the coffee is like your normal morning routine. You just have Strava when you wake up in the morning, your normal cup of coffee, and it takes care of the coffee part of it, and it takes care of the ache and pain part of it. So check out Strava. Highly recommend. If you want to try it, come to the bar, get the cold brew there. It's dope. They've been a long-time partner of ours, so highly recommend them. Check them out. You can get their subscription service as well, which gets you 20% off for like life, basically, if you sign up for that. It's just a good deal all the time. And then when you save a little bit of money, consider signing up for a membership here at DNVR. We just released our first video of the season preview, which go watch, by the way.
So it was our fault.
Was it? Yeah, it was the goal. It was the goalie video.
In that video, we were like,
"Was the goalie video?
This is the best their goaltending depth has been at the start of the year in years." And Frankie was like, "Oh yeah, guys."
I actually specifically remember, like we were like, "All right, worst case scenario for Frankie, he'll be a backup caliber guy." Mm-hmm. By the way, we're not putting injuries for everyone because that applies no matter what.
Yeah, it could totally be injuries, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's injuries for Frankie right away. But if you sign up for a membership, you get the big beers down at the DNVR bar. You get a bunch of other perks and things like that, beyond just access to our written content and all of that amazing stuff that we do behind the paywall. So
it's not good, man.
What?
Sorry, I'm responding to the comments.
I know.
We got clarity though on the saying Blaze's name.
Oh, that I don't remember.
There was one live show where these guys started off live saying each other's names, and they said Blaze's name repeatedly, so sarcastically and funny.
I don't remember.
I don't either, but I believe that happened. That very much sounds like it's in our wheelhouse.
It really does.
I spent a whole show calling him Blay.
That was fun.
Yes, oh my God, that was
because
the first
of Sammy
show.
Blay.
Yeah.
That's so
that was
funny.
fun to watch you try and break that. Yeah. It was also fun, like, knowing where that came from, because I was like, oh, he's watched a lot of Rampage hockey. He's watched a lot of Sammy Blay.
I was just like, I'm going to go. It was funny, too, because before we even got on, you had asked me a question, but you had said it like, hey, Blay.
Yeah.
And I totally wasn't listening, and you're like, hey.
Hey. You'd have corrected me, right? Like, if I'm saying it wrong, I hope. Anyway, yeah. Rudo continues to be terrible with names. Check that box off.
Nothing was as weird as the Newfoundland that you dropped a week ago. Totally randomly, and I was like, you're putting me on, right? And then I heard you say it normally later, and I was like, okay, we're cool.
Yeah,
I don't know what that was. It was so out of nowhere.
Like, because I was talking about, like, some people in Newfoundland don't like people calling them Newfies, right?
Yeah.
So I really wanted to pronounce that I'm not saying Newfie, and I ended up saying Newfoundland, and I was like, well, we're in this room now.
That was there was a Canadian city that I was saying weird that Z was making fun of me for, and I don't remember what it was. And then Jay started, and then all of the Canadian people in my life were like, "Why do you say it so weird?" And I wish I could remember what it was.
Hold on,
This is a great story.
Can you give me? I don't want to say the name because I don't know how to say it properly. But your best Texas accent of that pizza place, the French pizza place up in Canada.
The pizza place or the town that we went to?
I'll take either.
Beausejour. That's right. It was Kamloops.
How do they say it?
Kamloops. Yeah, and apparently I was saying it like Kamloops, and I wasn't hearing it in my head, but I went back and watched the episode and I was like, oh, I say that weird. So
You were adding a little
that's
emphasis on the loops.
It was Kamloops, yeah. No, but so there's just this little town outside Winnipeg called Beausejour, and while we were there, I just wouldn't not because we were there to get Texas barbecue, and so I was like Beausejour, and it was so stupid, and I just thought it was the funniest
It works
thing.
so well with the Texas twang. Like,
It's all French speakers should have a Texas accent. Super serious hockey game tonight,
very,
baby.
very clearly,
sure.
we were heavily
Yeah.
invested in
We-
this one.
Yeah.
The second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast here. Shout out Patrick Waugh, our crown guy. I can't even point over there.
There it is. Ooh.
Happy birthday to him. His 56th birthday, I believe. So, yeah,
Still the GOAT?
still the GOAT in the goal for sure. No
100%.
doubt about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
What else did we want to get to? Oh, shout out my man Peter McNabb. Casting despite the cancer diagnosis. Great to see him on the
Still
cast.
going through it. Look, as somebody who has lived through chemotherapy, I can tell you that's impossible what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I would also say, Pete, just lose the hat, my man. We know. Lean into it, dude. It's there's no need for it. We all know, and it's all love. It's all love and support.
Hell yeah. For sure. It's
Plus, people want to rub it for good luck. Dude. They think it helps.
true.
You know what?
True.
Being touched is weird, but also, like,
Take what you can get.
dude, Peter McNabb is awesome.
No doubt
Like
about
he's gonna whoop cancer's ass, and we are Team Peter all
With
the
a
way,
shoe.
dude. Yeah, I mean he learned from Mike Milbury. He's
Yeah.
he's going with a shoe.
Sure. Let's go.
I played an air horn sound to "He's Gonna Kick Cancer's Ass."
We're all
you
for
couldn't
that.
hear it though.
No, that's fine.
You
We-
guys
we
couldn't.
approved.
They could, but just wanted-
Very approved of that
Yeah.
of that air horn.
Yeah,
Getting into the game, let's be real. The Avs goal scorers looked excellent tonight. When you think of Avs goal scorers, obviously McKinnon's going to be at the top, but Mikko and Berkey just did their thing tonight.
look, we speaking of preview videos, we have a forward preview video where you and I
lose our shit.
get a little hyped on Mikko Rantanen specifically this year.
Yeah.
And I think 50 goals, man.
I'm a believer.
He would have had an outside shot at it last year. He had 30 and 56. So I think that he's coming into his physical prime right now, and we saw what that did for McKinnon. And I think that there's another level for Mikko Rantanen to get to, and I think tonight was just a preview of that. And it's funny because like all the bad things, I'm gonna be like, it's preseason, shut up. but with Mikko Rantanen looking as good as he is, I'm gonna be like, this is a preview of things to come. He's gonna score 50. He's gonna have 120 points. Nikita Kucherov sucks, and it's all Mikko. Like that's kind of where I am.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No, that's what's up, man. I think this is like the moose is loose. Like
Let's go.
this is
seeing those pictures, even like not wearing his gear, like at training camp this year, he took the off season very seriously. He is stacked this
Dude,
year.
and
he
this
hasn't
is-
looked like that before.
You look at all of the best players in there. 'Cause there's a reason that 23-ish to 27-ish, give or take a year on either side, is like the prime. It's like the absolute best that these guys get.
Yep.
And with Mikko, I think that we've talked about, like, he's kind of quietly on a Hall of Fame track right now. Now, obviously, it's very, very difficult to keep up that level of play through the kind of sustained
He
career
has to
needed.
be a point per game player till he's 30, right?
But I mean, you are talking about a guy that he could very realistically, he could score 50, and he could be a 70 assist guy because he's an unbelievable passer. He has great hands, and he is understanding that physically he is bigger and stronger than just about everybody, especially in a league that has trended more towards smaller puck-moving defensemen that he can routinely abuse on the forecheck. Once it all comes together for him, there is a dominant top 5 in the NHL caliber of player that is just waiting to get unleashed on the world. The question is can that happen at the same time that they're getting the very last out of Landeskog's prime and right in the heart of Nathan McKinnon's prime, while Cale Makar and all these other guys have all their, like, can they just get lucky and have them all sync up on the timeline and have it all work out? Because if the answer is yes, and they get the absolute best out of a handful of these guys at the same time, Mikko Rantanen very realistically leads them in scoring, is a Conn Smythe and a dark horse for the heart.
I've said this before, and especially I think our older viewers will understand what I'm saying when I say McKinnon and Rantanen is legitimately sacking Forsberg if they could play together on a line.
Yeah, because it was always weird. Those two were not great together.
Right.
And they dominated on different lines. It's why you always look back in history and it's like, wow, those top sixes were so good. And it's like, you had dominant players on each line. Well, now you have two dominant players on one line that are just running roughshod over everybody.
Is it Malkin and Crosby?
I mean, that's more Sakic and Forsberg, right? 1C, 2C.
Yeah.
But
1C, 2C.
1C, 2C, and Maxi, Moosey.
It's more, to be honest with you, it's more Lemieux and Yager.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, considering we call the guy Baby Yager all the time.
Giant behind on that man.
I don't think McKinnon is obviously Super Mario, but I think that Mikko has a Yager-esque prime in his future. And right now.
I can't wait for 45-year-old Mikko to be playing in the Liga.
With baby Mikko in the league in his draft eligible season.
Yeah.
With the Avs being like, please, round 2, please.
Let's do this again.
We want Nico Rantanen, right? Like, if Mikko does not name his firstborn Nico, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah. We got a problem here with 2 Ks, of course.
Petition.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right, just checking. The other goal scorer of the night for the Avs, Andre Burakovsky. He's good at shooting the puck.
Look, this is a contract year for him. He's 26. He is a 30 goal season puts him in line to make $6 to $7 million on a long-term contract and force his way into the conversation as a core element of the Colorado Avalanche moving forward. None of this secondary complementary stuff. If he lives up to that potential, and he finally an 82-game season, and he's healthy for it, then what we saw tonight, like that's the dream, right? Like that was it working. That was the lineup working. These guys score you 4 goals, and then ideally you have Darcy Kemper in net and your actual defense back there. Not all of the guys who are fighting for the 6, 7, 8 jobs on the ice at the same time.
I thought Berkey checked all the boxes tonight. I thought he looked really good out there.
Yeah.
There's always, for me, it's always going to be consistency and defensive details. But for a night
where defense was out the window.
Yeah, well, in like a preseason game, like this is what you want to see. You want to see him out there getting confidence, because you know how it could be if a guy who's supposed to score goals doesn't score a goal for the first 10 games, it can set up a season where he's in his head the whole year.
Yep.
And get it out of the way in the preseason. Get him feeling good about himself. Get the confidence flowing and all of that. And he looked fine. This is the first time we've seen him in the preseason.
Yeah,
I don't know who played last night because we couldn't see him. It felt like the game wasn't real, and so I don't even know. Well, but this was good feels. This was good feels.
We'll get to some of the other names. I seen chat talking about Barron. We'll talk about him, a bunch of other guys in a little bit. I do want to wrap up the top 6. 2 specific things I want to talk about. One, we saw what could be a realistic second line to start the season for the Avs in Kadri, Burakovsky, and Nichushkin. We already talked about Burakovsky. What did we think about that line as a whole?
I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah?
I thought the line overall was quiet tonight. I thought Berkey stood out on that line, but overall wasn't too impressed with what was going on.
Okay.
Their best scoring chance came with Sampo Ranta, not Val Nichushkin. And I don't think that that's an accident, but one thing I did like about that line was that you could see in theory where it was working, because Val Nichushkin's puck retrieval and his ability to reload offensively is really, really good. And seeing that with Berkey and with Kadri tonight, they had a couple of shifts where you were like, oh, I get it. This is okay. And then Nuke would flub something, and it was like, oh, we're back. Like, okay. And now I'm not excited anymore. And then they came close to scoring with Sampo Ranta, who didn't do anything on the top line and didn't contribute to anything positive, and completely all of the fun that we had going into where everybody was like, oh, yeah, Rambo Santa top line, here we go. And then it was just like, oh, Casper Santa top line. So, and then the best opportunity was when near the end of the second period when he was on the second line, and they probably should have scored.
That play in front.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. That was awesome. And I'm not going to make too much of half a shift, but it makes you wonder, like, maybe that's where Sampo Ranta's future is.
Let's lean in here. Is the concept of Sampo Ranta even getting put on the top line in this game, does that indicate an opportunity? Do they want to play him on opening night?
Yeah, this was a huge opportunity. Yes. Putting him with putting him with your best players. Yeah. Yes. Like, if that's not opportunity, as we talk about, like, Shane Bowers and all these other guys getting opportunity, none of them are getting that look. So I think they're looking for a reason, and they're looking for a place to put him where they could say, okay, we want to get the best out of you. And look, that line starts in the offensive zone 65% of the time anyway, because you don't want it to waste time coming out in transition. You want that line winning a faceoff and cramming it down their throat. That's what they do. Yeah. So you would see. I don't think it's like an opening night possibility that he plays there.
No,
but
not
they're
on
looking.
The second line
they're 100% looking for an excuse. Like, okay, if we're gonna put you with skilled players, you're gonna make skilled plays, and then we just have to keep you. Oh, gosh darn it! And I just don't. I didn't see enough from Sampo tonight that says.
I agree.
I thought he was pretty quiet.
He won a job tonight, and I think that there's still work to do for a lot of these guys. All of them, except Mikhail Maltsev.
Yep, we'll get to that.
Mikhail. I guess.
All right. So, if you want to avoid Mikhail in the gulags...
Oh, God.
What?
No, don't do this.
Transition into something else.
Yeah, don't do it this way.
Can I just say that the vowels are overrated thing is killing me because John Elway's head is actually blocking the O in overrated. And so on the thing, it looks like vowels are rated.
Rated.
You can't even see the V that well. It looks like rated.
R-rated vowels.
Anyway, if you want to avoid Mikhail in the gulags...
Oh, no, he kept it.
Really? We just gave you an R-rated layup there, and you went back to the gulags?
You made a mistake,
man.
because we're talking about giving Mikhail a quality steak. All right?
Don't make him do a spit take, please.
Go over to Hassel Cattle Company.
I'm an adult.
Get your meat.
Sometimes.
Get what you need. Of course, you can always come down to the DNVR bar. Get yourself a Wagyu beef burger. Both AJ and I had it tonight. It was absolutely delicious.
It was so good. I even texted Z and was like, yep, this burger is incredible. And then she said some offensive things to me, and my feelings were a little hurt. So, Z, if you're listening, not nice.
You can check it out here. You can get it at HassleCattleCompany.com. Get 10% off with code DNVR10. You can get the burgers if you want. They have all sorts of steaks, whether it be their blue-collar Wagyu. You can get tomahawk steaks. You can get their bone-in ribeye, sirloins, you name it. They got you covered. Any meat under the sun. It's the best quality coming out of AJ's second home. You were born in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so second home in Texas. I was technically born in Texas, so... count it.
I mean, I always say that I grew up in Texas because I moved to Texas
when you were young. Sure,
I was like 11, so it wasn't like I didn't live in Colorado for a while. But I always call Texas home just because that's kind of where my life started.
Yeah,
like what would become my life started, and so
Yeah, see, I'm like I was born in Texas, but I moved to Colorado when I was 1. So,
yeah.
By the way, Texas, if you could make it easier to get your birth certificate, I would appreciate it a lot.
Dude, it's real easy for Colorado. All I had to do was go to some shady ass website and give them $40, and I got it 2 days later in the mail.
Is it real?
It is.
I don't know. It has been accepted every time I've used it. So.
It's real hard to get a Texas birth certificate, let me tell you. But Hassel Cattle Company, not as hard to get. They'll deliver it right to your door. Check it out. If you order over $200, you can get a group order going. You get free shipping as well. So jump on that one as well. In any case, if you want to turn your package into a Colorado-sized package, no, you don't want that, right? You want the Texas-sized package. Everything's bigger in Texas. Get it Manscaped. Head on over to manscaped.com. Use code DNVR20. No, I'm wrong. It's just code DNVR. Don't use the 20. Just DNVR to get 20% off your perfect package. Get the perfect package 4.0. Use the lawnmower trimmer. Go from Colorado to Texas. It'll look great. It'll be dope. Check it out.
I'm just going to say, if the thing looks like Texas, see a doctor.
All right, what if it looks like Florida, though?
Oh, my God.
Reasonable?
Ladies?
All right,
If it's Italy,
look,
then you have some issues.
All right. You take Manscaped, you apply it to Italy, you get Florida.
Ooh.
Simple math, chat. Simple math. All right? So go to Manscaped. They also, of course, have tools to get you covered top to bottom, making you look good, breath mints, whatever you need for that hot date you got. Go check it out. DraftKings, that's the wrong one. Not DraftKings. Manscaped, sorry. Check them out. Use the DNVR code. Support our partners that's supporting us all the way through. And, now we're getting into DraftKings. You can go to DraftKings Sportsbook. I've been telling everyone for the past couple weeks, you need to bet on darts. All right? All right? You need to go bet on darts at DraftKings Sportsbook. Bet on the online live darts league. Watch the first couple sets. See who's
vibing.
Yeah, it's exactly. Actually, I see who's not vibing because it's super easy to tell when a dude throws a bad dart and he walks up to grab his darts off and he's like, and I just bet against that dude for the rest of the day, and I make a ton of money on darts. It's so easy. So you can do that. Of course, if you're new, please use the DNVR code when you sign up for a new account. All you have to do is bet $1 on any football game. You get $150 in free bets. It's a super great deal. And then you have $150 to go bet on random college football games like AJ and I did all Saturday.
It was 8 hours, I believe we were here.
Yeah, it was a good
betting
8 hours.
just and it was like we had like 6 TVs with different games on.
Yep.
And so when the team would get the ball at like the 30-yard line, we were like, are they going to make it to the 50? Let's throw money on that one. And it was.
I mean, being at the DNVR doing it was dope because it was just like, all right, we're watching these games, and then Darren or someone at the bar would turn on a new game, and it's like, all right, we got to put a bet on the new game. Now
we care about this game.
Yeah. So that was a blast. Check out DraftKings Sportsbook, obviously. They're an official betting partner of the NFL. They have a bunch of amazing bets. I'm talking about bet on darts. You can bet on literally, if you've heard of the sport, you can bet on it.
Russian table tennis at 3 a.m.
You can bet on that, baby.
Won $11 the other day while I was supposed to be sleeping.
The big bucks. Dude, for real, like when you can't sleep, DraftKings is a godsend.
It's a godsend or a sign of addiction or, deeper symptom of something else going on in your life.
One way or another.
Which, if that's the case,
call 1-800-522-4700, please.
Trying so hard to lean into this.
Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Other terms and restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook. They are an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Of course, gambling problem. Call the number 1-800-522-4700.
Won a bunch of money on the Broncos game.
Let's go.
Yeah, bet on the Ravens, baby.
Dude, I have not lost yet, and I bet the under every week on the Broncos. It's easy money.
Betting on the under, I think, is way less fun than betting on the over.
Way less fun.
Where you're just like, score, just more points. Like, we were watching USC CU, and it was just like every time somebody would get the ball and break into the open field,
Go!
go. Betting on the over rocks.
I told you this, but betting on the over is betting on team offense.
Yeah.
Betting on the under is betting on team clock.
Yeah.
And
Run the ball, baby.
Yeah.
Game good ball control.
Yeah, exactly.
If you need work on your ball control.
Oh, there we go.
Kaboom.
Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast.
This
presented
Evander King comment bothers
by
me.
DraftKings Sportsbook.
Because it's probably true.
Oh, boy. Well, yeah, as long as he didn't gamble on getting it or something.
Did anyone bet the over tonight?
I hope y'all bet the over.
I told on the DNVR bets today, I walked in during that segment and just said bet the over and then walked out.
Mic
So-
drop status.
Can confirm.
RK confirms it. All right.
AJ knew.
I'll see.
AJ knew.
Yeah, I saw the goalies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I knew JoJo was playing.
You also saw the Avs defense.
And I saw Logan Thompson was playing.
Yeah.
Logan Thompson played a great game and gave up 4 goals.
He played
Yeah.
pretty. I mean, the first period he played lights out.
Yeah.
He got beat twice by Mikko Rantanen and Andre Burakovsky.
Right.
So
Oh my goodness.
I do want to
Dan.
get into the Avs depth here because we saw what could potentially be an actual fourth line for the Colorado Avalanche tonight in Mikhail Maltsev, Kiefer Sherwood, and Dylan Sakura.
Only if something bad happens because
Yes,
Darren Helm
of
and Logan
course.
O'Connor are
Right,
still there.
right.
But
Yeah.
Maltsev is the guy. He's the key there. And that dude straight up,
He balled out a little bit tonight.
he should have won a job. I haven't double checked. I saw somebody in the chat at the start of the show said that he went 9 of 13 on
which
faceoffs.
even
Wow.
better for his
Really?
case.
He went 9 of 13 on
Wow.
faceoffs in his first preseason game. So that's
That's
why
good.
That's why I was like, are you sure? Because it's really weird that he went exactly the same. Because I think both of them were. I think both were against Vegas.
9 of 13.
So I do want to double check that. Not that I don't trust you, but clearly I don't. And I just want to make sure that that's because if that's correct, then 9 of 13 again. Like that's exactly. And then good PK work. He had a shorthanded breakaway. Broke a play that I was like yelling at him because it was obvious that they were not comfortable with the puck.
You were begging him to go for
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, and because I was like, he can't handle it. Just go get him. And then he did, and he ended up with a breakaway. He didn't score because he's a fourth liner, but that's what's up.
I mean, the 9 of 13 on the faceoff dot.
Well, and like
Great there.
good PK work. Okay,
Yeah,
great. And
yeah.
the whole PK needs a lot of work in general because they are giving up 2 goals a game. But encouraging, just from a Maltsev perspective, I think he's getting more comfortable. He's looking better. I think he's in the process of winning a job. This is how you win a job in the NHL as a fourth line player. It's not sexy. It's not it's not about going out and scoring 5 points in the preseason. It's about going out and doing the little things and taking care of business.
Yeah, doing all the right things.
Yeah.
will get you a job on that fourth line.
This is why I have trust issues right here. 8 of 11.
11.
Still good.
Yeah,
That's still unreal.
Yeah, still dominant.
Take that any night.
Yeah. But that's exactly how you win a job. That's exactly where it's like, okay, we're going to give you the first month of the season in this role because we wanted to see what you look like, and he's taking care of all the little details that does it.
No, you still spelled it wrong.
No E. Pretty close though.
All right, so someone showed him his 9 of 13 just so they could get the nice number in.
I set that down, and the fan just blew it right
It had
out.
places to be. All
I
right?
tell you.
It had places to be. Are we confident in that fourth line now, being Maltsev, Hellman, O'Connor at this point?
No, because there's still 2 games left, and there's a lot of competition there. Look, if they could talk themselves into Helmet center and Sampo Rant on the fourth line. Alex Newhook is still somewhere involved in all of this, so it's like I don't want to say take it to the bank, but I think we're getting closer to that being settled.
Do you think Ranta makes any sense though on the fourth line because he's more of an offensive threat? Like I don't know if you see him being.
Alex Newhook
productive fourth
was
liner.
on the fourth line in the postseason, and it helped.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the archetype of player for sure. But I would say Sampo Ranta makes more sense on a fourth line than Alex Newhook does, because his game is pure north and south.
Yeah.
It's dump a puck, go hit a guy, go outskate a guy, make a nice play if you can, and put the puck in the net. Like, the skill...
Yeah, the skill set doesn't match.
And the skill for Ranta will fit against the depth guys he will be going head-to-head against. It should give him a little bit of a leg up.
Sure.
But it's a very north-south and simple process for Sampo Ranta.
Yeah.
And with Newhook, there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more of the creativity, and you want him at center, and you want him in the middle of the ice, and you want him creating and driving play. And with Sampo, you're like, just go out there and skate in straight lines for 2 hours
Right,
and make something good happen, you know? And so I think if you were going to, which one of those guys makes more sense on a fourth line, I would say Ranta. But I don't want either one of them. I would say I don't think either one of them there would be a long-term fit, and I don't think that that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because you do have Maltsev balling out
Yeah.
and showing out that this should be what he's doing. This is the role that he was brought in to do, and he's excelling in that for the moment. And you're comfortable with O'Connor and Helm on your fourth line to open the season.
Yeah.
All right. I think that was a pretty good conversation. I don't really have anything to add to that. So,
Brian Murray?
the defense, I do want to get into the defensemen as a whole. Legitimately, Ryan Murray has a spot. Let's not beat around the bush. There were some good things tonight from Ryan Murray. I don't want to take anything away from him. I think he had a nice block in the first period. I think he moved pretty well with his feet, which compared to the rest of the defense the Avs iced was noticeable. I really had a problem with the way he moved the puck, though. I know, AJ, you don't think it was quite as bad as I thought, but
Nope.
I thought there was a real problem with the way he moved the puck tonight, and there were consistent issues there that he cannot have during the regular season if he wants to be a guy, especially as someone that we're talking about that we're not sure where exactly he slots in at the start of the season without Devon Taves in the lineup. If they want to put him next to a Jack Johnson, a Curtis McDermott, whatever it ends up being as that sixth guy, he has to move the puck better than what we saw tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, I thought out of the defensemen that were out there, his feet were moving very well. I do think his decision-making could be improved. If you're saying you're going to put him next to a Jack Johnson, I think that's a disaster waiting to happen. You're going to have somebody that has a little bit more right now, you need somebody that can move the puck in the right direction. There was some passes there where it was passing into three guys that are surrounding an Avs player.
I think if the season started right now, your third pairing is probably Ryan Murray and Jack Johnson.
I think you're probably correct, and that's my concern.
That's concerning
well, I think
for a third
my
pairing.
problem there isn't Ryan Murray. It's freaking Jack Johnson.
Sure, yeah.
I understand that, but Jack Johnson had a better pass tonight than Ryan Murray did.
Ryan Murray had an assist. Beach.
Okay. We're not gonna get into the conversation of the value of assists on this show, but
It was a solo assist. It wasn't a second assist. I'm just saying. No, I disagree with both you fools. I think that Ryan Murray was totally fine. And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Ryan Murray play last night?
yes, he did.
That was his first preseason action.
I think he played the first game too, but I'm not 100%.
I thought
think he
last night
played
was
the-
his. I thought
no.
last night was his first game. But either way,
Yeah.
we agree that he played last night. Supposedly, the game that didn't exist.
If the box score is to be believed,
I thought I was anyway. I think that that's important context for both him and Justin Barron. Is that they were in the game last night, and that they how do you play? How do you take how seriously? As I sound like a bird, how seriously do you take a preseason game like you're a back-to-back here with rotating personnel? Ryan Murray, it's all about staying healthy and just getting in game shape, and you're not. I mean, he's not even worrying 100% about systems and all that. It's more like getting comfortable asking him to understand kind of where he needs to be on the PK, and kind of just still getting adjusted to what he needs to be doing. And I really didn't, in that context, I didn't have a problem with Ryan Murray tonight. I do think, obviously, like, he's not going to be your top pairing guy. And tonight,
I mean,
and in a game like tonight where he was being asked to do a little bit of everything for them, it was like, okay, well, Ryan Murray is not a top pairing defender, and I'm okay with that. You look at which one of those guys looked a whole lot better in a profile as a third pairing defender. So Ryan Murray or is it Jack Johnson? Because I thought even with whatever problems you guys had, I thought Ryan Murray, like, there were more. I had more defensive issues than I did puck moving issues. But some of that is lack of cohesion with a partner, lack of comfort with the system, and like just a general early season. Everyone's still bad at hockey.
I guess I should clarify then. I'm not saying Ryan Murray played himself out of a job. He's still absolutely going to be in the starting lineup.
All of us understanding that is not on the table here. Curtis McDermott is not taking Ryan Murray's job.
No.
It looks like he's probably losing one to Jack Johnson, which
Jesus,
you gotta be fucking bad to lose to actively lose a job to Jack Johnson when he plays like that.
Yeah.
And I always preface things by saying, look, I'm sure Curtis McDermott is a great dude. He's better at hockey than I'll probably ever be at anything in my life.
It doesn't make him a good NHL defenseman, man.
He did not look like he belonged tonight.
Again, it's against Minnesota was bad. Was bad again tonight. Like early in the game, you're like, oh, that's kind of what you want to see. Is he knock down two guys, gather the puck in, throws it away
to the defenseman on the other team at the
throws it away, and then watches that puck end up back in his own goaltender's chest, and it was just like, how can you guys look at this and think this was a good idea? Like, Colin Wilson for a 4th-round pick feels like a godsend compared to this deal. This was a deal that we hated and it's preseason and all the other this is so confirmation biasy that it's like, wow, well, Curtis McDermott is terrible.
Totally is.
Oh, all these good players are playing like shit. Well, it doesn't matter. It's the preseason, but the bad player plays bad, and that's just reinforcing how I already feel about him. So this is super unfair and confirmation biasy.
It is.
But Curtis McDermott sucks. And I don't understand that this continues, in what way is that is Dennis Gilbert behind Curtis McDermott? Dennis Gilbert's at least punching the right people. He's been physical. He picked up a point tonight on a nice play from the blue line. There were at least positives from Dennis Gilbert. How in the world is Curtis McDermott on this roster? On the 16-17 Avs, Curtis McDermott would have fit right in because it was a gong show. But watching these guys, it's like these guys have championship aspirations, and this guy probably shouldn't be within 100 yards of the NHL. And that's please, Curtis McDermott's family, do not listen to this.
God, please,
But it's just. Dude,
a couple chats to get here. First of all, if Francouz is in fact healthy, can we please start nicknaming him Filthy Frank? I'm all for Papa Francouz. In any case, super chat from Vaguely Sober. Thank you very much. We got our first Baron Smash tonight. While we did get that, I completely disagree with the sentiment of this comment. Once again, we saw Baron really struggle with physicality at moments where I really felt that he needed to put a body on guys in front of the net, and it was hard to watch.
For me, it's just not there.
Yep.
It's just not there, and I know the team is giving him a long look, and they're taking this seriously, and there were some things with the puck that I liked tonight. There were a lot of nightmares, and I think they were just testing him. They wanted to see how he would do on a back-to-back. They want to see how he would handle he played in a real NHL game against an NHL lineup last night.
Yep.
And then he goes and he plays a decent Vegas lineup tonight. But P.S. the Misfits are just they won't stop, man.
They're still there.
It feels like the postseason series all over.
Yeah.
Carlson and Bradley just oh my god, it was awful, man. So anyway, it's not there with Justin Barron. For me, it's just not there yet, and I get that he's on the fast track, but maybe he shouldn't be.
It's all the things you've seen out of Sampo Ranta this offseason that it's like maybe he's not ready yet for the NHL, but there's some reason to be hyped about his game that
Totally.
he showed.
Yep.
You haven't really seen those things out of Justin Barron this offseason.
And like with Newhook, you've seen some things here.
Yep.
Kaut had a nice camp, but the one game that he played obviously did not go well, and then now he's hurt, and it's just like, Bowers is a guy that he played tonight. I don't think he was very good tonight, but I will forever be Team Shane Powers.
He did a couple good
He was
things.
kind of non-existent tonight.
It was way too quiet compared to like what Mikhail Maltsev did.
It didn't earn a job. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, and it was too quiet of a game, but I did like there were things that Bowers did, and there were things that you're talking yourself into, and with Barron, it's just like you're working too hard to find the positives.
Yeah.
They're just not stacking up.
More time to develop for him.
Yeah, defensively,
Which is fine.
I think it's he's 20. Like
To be expected.
Yeah. It's the thing that's going to take him. Even if he were to get into the NHL next year, he's not going to be like ready. He's not going to be like there. It's not completed. Defensively, he's going to be a work in progress for a number of years.
That's one of those things where I feel like the Avs fan base, and I'm not calling out anyone specific, but
I know where this is going.
The Avs fan base has been extremely pampered, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
this same, well, not just that, but
Kill McCarr.
it's the same conversation that the Avs took Mikko Rantanen at 10, and then they took Tyson Jost at 10. And people have been extremely hard on Tyson Jost because of his draft position. And I think because part of that is the Avs fan base don't understand that Mikko Rantanen is a coup at 10th overall.
Well, in 2015 is turning into an all-time great draft.
Yeah.
100%.
And the fact that, and like you look at like the guy taken immediately in front of him, Timo Meier. Yeah. The guy taken in front of him, Zach Werenski.
Yep.
The guy taken in front of him, Ivan Provorov. The guy taken in front of him, Pavel Zacha. Okay, some misses here.
Some misses there.
But like, and then immediately after, you look at the Kyle Connors and Matt Barzels and the Thomas Shabbats and Colin Whites of the world. There were some studs that were taken in that draft class, and it's just very different. You look at the Tyson Jost draft, and it's like, okay, Charlie McAvoy, Jacob Chychrun, end of list.
It's not a good draft. Like there is an argument in a
different
redraft
world.
that you would still take Jost at 10.
But there was until I guess there might be. He might still be. He would still be top 15 in a
That's
redraft.
a good way to put it. Yeah. Not the point I was trying to make. The point I was trying to make is the same thing is coming with Justin Barron. The Avs' experience in drafted NHL defensemen in the past couple of years has been a literal generational talent in Cale Makar and Bowen Byram, whose NHL performance has been the best defensive play from a rookie in decades.
Well, from like a teenage, from a teenager, his defensive play last year was light years better than what you would have expected.
Think of historically how long it takes to develop a defense.
Well, and then okay, let's move away from those guys. Look at what Connor Timmins did. Yeah. He missed an entire year of development, goes into the AHL for a whole year, still battles some injuries. There were still some ups and downs, an entire NHL season, and like by the end of it, you started to see the light bulb had come on. Yeah. The breakthrough was on. And and now like just tough timing there, but like that's the ideal. That's the model that Justin Barron needs to follow. What Connor Timmins did without the missed year of development with the concussion. That's it. 1 year in the AHL, and then don't ever look back.
If you take Cale Makar out of it, say Avs never drafted him, right? And you look at Bo Byram just on that spectrum, where does he sit? Would you be like, this guy is a great pickup for the Avs? You have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be feeling good about it. Yeah.
I mean, because I think Cale ruined a lot for
I think that there was that wave because it was Cale, Quinn Hughes, Adam Fox, and Miro Heiskanen all at the same time happened. And it's always been like, oh, defensemen take longer, defenseman this and defenseman that. And then here come these dudes. We're talking like dudes.
Swinging their dicks.
Just showed up. And like, what? Two other guys I also just mentioned not that long ago. Ivan Provorov and Zach Werenski.
Yeah.
Just sort of showed up and were good.
Yeah.
And it's like, these guys are all on top pairings on their NHL teams. Yep. And they all just showed up and were good. Yeah. So I don't know. like with Byram, it just felt like it was such an unexpected way that it all unfolded. Like, the guy that we've seen him be this preseason is way more of the guy that we saw
in his
in the
junior
dub.
career. Yeah.
You know, super aggressive offensively, really attacking mentality, and then defense had its moments.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you would have expected. Then last year, it was all defense, and there was nothing happening offensively. Like, his first assist is this unreal
Off the
dive
wall.
to the corner between Ryan Getzlaff's legs, centering pass for a game-winning goal with 2 minutes to go in the third period, and you're like, holy shit, his Hall of Fame career is on! This is insane! And then, like, it all toned down from there.
Yeah.
So
The injury didn't help either.
Well, and obviously, like, but 19 games, 2 assists, and certainly like was not scary offensively in the majority of games.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting, like that development. It just takes time. It's work. And every guy is so different.
Yeah.
What they do well, because like with forwards, a lot of this is cut and paste, and especially because they have roles that they're going to fit into, that they envision them in, that you can put them in. You know, defensemen, you just want them to get them minutes. You just want them chewing up experience and just soaking up as much experience and time as possible, because that's the fastest way to development, is to just get rocked and to learn from it and to get better and figure it all out at pro speed.
But that's the same thing too, right? Is like defensemen get exposed quicker.
Yeah,
right?
it's a lot harder.
You see it right away, right? Like an offense, you can make mistakes and it's hidden a little bit, but
but then you go out and you score a goal and everybody's like,
I
but he
love
scored
the guy,
a
he's the
goal.
best. Like,
You're
and he's not doing his
literally
defensive roles.
describing Sampo Ranta.
Right, no, straight up. Like,
Yeah.
the guy's a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Like, he makes a million defensive mistakes, but because that's not what he's being asked to do.
Right.
He goes out there and scores a goal, and you're just like, yo, Sampo Ranta, where's the
Rambo
t-shirt?
Santa, let's
Yeah,
go.
like where's the t-shirt, fellas? And like it's like the hype is on.
Yeah.
But with a guy like Barron, gets rolled, makes some bad decisions with the puck, gets pinned in his own zone, is not very physical, loses a bunch of battles, and you're just like, holy shit, there's a long way to go here.
Yeah, and he got walked tonight too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like you see that stuff, and you're like, this guy sucks.
Well, and then you look
doesn't.
at you get to the end of the game and you look at his fancy stats and you're like, oh, he was positive.
This was fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, if that's how it's gonna be, where he's gonna have nights where he doesn't play that well, and he still ends up on a positive end of that kind of stuff, you're like, okay, well, this isn't gonna be so bad. You can live with some of this.
Yeah.
But it's pretty obvious with a guy like Barron, there are some options around him that this like need, and I don't think it's a need. I think it's just a desire. I think they see the potential and they love what they see.
obviously.
They see a right-handed defenseman who is 6'3".
They have
and
to know
fits-
it's not there yet,
and
right?
it
But-
fits perfectly into like their world of mobility. Where they're just like, oh, like on the third pairing behind Eric Johnson and Cale Makar, here comes Justin Barron, where you're just like, yes, oh my gosh. Like, as much as you liked Connor Timmins, the one thing that did not fit, the mobility was never a fit for what they did. But Justin Barron is a perfect fit there. Just stylistically, it's very easy to see why Jared Bednar, who in his pro coaching career has been better at developing the exact kind of guy that he was not as a player, and has done a poor job of identifying quality guys in his own mold.
Yep.
Weird, but you wonder
All right.
what's up with that.
All right. So first of all, thank you, chat, for looking out for my beer. I'll take care of it after the show. Secondly, what the hell happened, Cygnus?
Wait.
You're telling us to break down this game.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, dude, what did the Rockies bullpen get a hold of your game? Did you ice a lineup of Daniel Bard and Carlos Estevez and the other Sheffield brother? Like, geez, man.
Thirdly, I saw chat talking about it. Just a little bit of official business here. The Avs did officially cut 2 players. Oscar Olausen headed back to Barrie. Makes sense. The OHL season begins on October 7th, so he'll get back just in time to start that. And Andreas Wingerly back to the AHL. Not all that surprising. AJ has been talking about he looks like an AHL player through all of training camp and the preseason.
And Jordan Gross did clear waivers, just
You'll
in
see a
case
lot.
anybody was curious. Yeah, we'll see him next year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You'll see him. He's on his way.
All right.
We'll see.
All right.
There's two super skeptics here who are just like, mm-hmm.
But it's a little bit of official news from the Avs there. Have we missed anybody tonight? I think we got most everyone.
Yeah, I mean, the goal. Even if Frankie's healthy and he ends up being okay, you're worried a little bit about it.
Yeah,
he just hasn't been.
Been great.
And like some of the goals given up, you're like, well, like this bat, like the Pietrangelo to Martinez on the back door. You're like, what's he gonna do there, right?
I mean, it was not the big panic button here. It was Frankie goes out, and JoJo comes in and looks awful, and it's like you can't. This guy cannot be your backup.
Yeah, like it looked really, really bad. Where you're just like, how. Like that dude, we're forever gonna look at the numbers he put up in Colorado last year, and it's going to be a perfect example of just how awful the division they were in actually was. Yes. Because it was like, this dude looks totally fine behind against these bad offensive teams. Going up against Anaheim and San Jose and LA is totally fine.
I would say Frankie didn't look as squirrely at the beginning of the game. That first game he was like swimming.
He
out
still
there.
looked pretty squirrely to me, man.
I'd say it was
like
more
knocking some of the rust off, but it was like, yeah, I'm nervous. Like I think for me it's gonna be I'm not gonna really settle those nerves until that dude gets into a regular season game and gives up 2 goals and they win 4-2, and I'm like, all right, it's all good, baby. Don't even worry about it. Who was worried? Huh? Who was worried? Internet, that's who. Not this guy, never.
All right, we've been going for a while. Blaze, one serious question before we get out of here: Team Max or Team Donut Man?
Donut Man?
Team Donut Man rides again.
That's how it's gonna be. All right. At least you're not Team Mercedes.
Yeah. You know what? Max can get to Verstappen the hell up out of here.
Wow.
Okay? Because it's all about Team Donut Man.
All right. You might need to buy Z a pregnancy test after that one, but
okay.
In any case, Team Thrash Apple. Let's go. Yes.
AJ's face. I'm just like, that's right.
Yeah. Team, that's pretty hardcore.
Shout out to our producer, Ali Monroy. She's back doing the job.
Woo! I miss you guys.
For tonight.
Yeah. While she can.
I'll be back for a good amount of shows. I can't not watch hockey with you fools.
Stuck with us, unfortunately.
It's a good time. Yeah. I highly recommend coming down to the bar to do so.
You heard her.
There was a crowd tonight.
It was pretty good.
There was crazy. Yeah, it was a crowd. It was a good crowd for some baseball.
Yeah, that's probably
a lot of Yankees and Red Sox.
Yeah, a lot of Yankees and Red Sox allegiance in the bar tonight.
Hold on, I don't think I've shown my shirt on the stream. We go. It's pretty dope.
I can't read it.
I can't see it.
It says 2001 champions.
Oh, there we go.
But it's a pretty cool
shirt. All right. I think we've covered it, so we're going to get out of here for the night. Thank you, everyone, watching, listening, however you consume the podcast. We appreciate y'all. Please, if you haven't watched our season preview series, the first episode came out today. It's on the goalies. Unfortunately, Francouz got hurt. We're doing this the rest of the week and Monday and Tuesday leading up to the first game of the season. Tomorrow is the Avalanche depth forwards. Please check those out. We put a lot of work into them. We think you guys are really going to like them. We almost lost all of them in a clerical error, but
oh my god, that was so scary.
So it's fine.
We put a lot of hard work into it. They're really great. These guys did such a good job.
No, Team Lando, get out of here.
No, Lando's dope. I'm okay with this.
He is He is poor man's Tyson Jost. Get Lando Norris out of my face.
I think he might be rich man's Tyson Jost.
That's true.
That is a great point.
Very, very valid.
But one of those came first in my life, so he's the poor man.
Anyway, we love you all. We will be back tomorrow. The season preview video drops at 1:30. Pod will probably be going live at about 2 o'clock. So hope to see you there. Until then, we will talk to you all later.